with Sukhmani Sahib. I just want to do a translation of one or two Aspadiya. And then from that, I've got a couple of really nice videos I want to show you guys. I think you guys are going to enjoy the videos. It's been quite a while since everyone's been back. I understand that. I'm sure people had a lot of weddings to go to, a lot of programs to go to. And the weather was fairly good. It started off really bad when we had a lot of rain at the beginning of summer, but it ended up pretty good. And they're saying the weather is going to stay like this throughout September, so that's not so bad. Okay, so we'll start off with Sukhmani Sahib, and then we'll take it to the next level right after that. And a couple of really nice videos I want to share with you someday, so we'll go to that right after. So Sukhmani is peace of mind, the nectar of the name of God. Guru da Naam, Guru di Bani, Guru da Simran, it gives peace of the mind. That's what Sukhmani Sahib means. Okay? Sukhmani Sukh Amrit Prabh Naam. The minds of the devotees abide in joyful peace. Now, if we are Guru da Sikh, we're a devotee, so sada man Guru de naal judna chahiyega. Okay? So the minds of the devotees abide in joyful peace. Remembering God, one does not have to enter into the womb again. So marna jina mityanda, right? So when you're born and then you die again, then you're born and you die again. As you see, insects, ants, worms, different type of animals, we're part of the Charasi Lakdun. Okay, when you're part of the Charasi Lakdun, you have to come back and go and come back and die and live again. Okay? And that's normal procedure of this world. And when you look at Charasi Lakdun, you're looking at about 8.4 million different species. Because you've got species in the water, you've got species on the land, and you've got sharks, you've got the bacteria, you've got jellyfish and all that in the water, then on earth you've got the worms. And it's fascinating because if the worms weren't there, a lot of this world would be different. Right? How all these here, and like a worm, it's got no way to protect itself. You've got the birds waiting for the rainfall, and the worms will come out, and the birds are ready to prey on it. You know, on the 10 years, 20 years, or 13 years. So that could be billions of years before you come back to the human being. If you do to the banda bande bhi hai, oh bhi pata to bande ko kaam karna chale. Apna naam japna to nahi naam japna. You will probably know better yourself what you are, where you are, what standard you're at, what level of bhakti are you at. Have you even started your bhakti? That's the other thing. We're getting older, we're not getting any younger. We're getting closer to death. So Charasi Lakdun will come again. Remember, the pain of death is dispelled. ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਨੂੰ ਚੇਤੇ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਆ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਭਾਗਾਂ ਵਾਲੇ ਆ ਅਸੀਂ ਅੱਜ ਇੱਥੇ ਆਏ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰੇ. It's a Friday, people could be at parties, could be other places, but you decide to come in to listen to Guru Sahib. Right? Remembering God, the pain of death is dispelled. ਥੋੜੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਮੌਤ ਉਹ dispel ਹੁੰਦੀ, you won't go into ਮੌਤਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਫਿਰ ਫਸਣਾ ਨਹੀਂ. ਅਸੀਂ ਇੱਥੋਂ ਨਿਕਲ ਆਉਣਾ. ਸੱਚੇ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ looks after you in this life and the next. Right? Remembering God, death is what you want to get to. ਜਿੱਥੇ ਤੇ ਦਿਨੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਰੱਬ ਦੱਸਦਾ, ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਰੱਬ ਦੱਸਦਾ, ਜਾਨਵਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਰੱਬ ਦੱਸਦਾ. That's the kind of level we want to get to. Remembering God, no obstacles are met. You're always positive. So you don't worry about things as much as other people do. You don't get depressed because the Rabb not jode hain. I tell you, there's many times in my life I would have gone through depression if I didn't understand why you go to be mental with all the things you got to worry about all day long. Right? So Guru Di Kirpa now that actually helped out. Okay? Remembering God, one remains awake, aware, night and day. Oh, din raat Rabb is not talking about. He's always awake. Sutta pya bhi he's looking forward to getting up Amrit Billah. He's looking at the time and saying, hey, 2 baje hai, main utha kya na cheti. Idda Guru da Sikh hunda, he's loaching Guru Sahib, tere hum main darshan kara, teri main bani para, teri bani suna, tera simran kara, teri simran suna. We want to get to that point. Right? Look how beyond we've gone now, right? Our fear is so unreal. And I'll show you some videos of Guru Sahib's bete and they put them, how delayed they were. And look what we are now. We want to get up and above that. Okay? You're going to lose that fear. Remembering God, one does not suffer sorrow. Fear is when you have 10,000 people coming at you. You're standing there on your own. That should be fear, but no, they're taking that and turning that negativity positive and going out there and fighting them and saying, I'm not going to fear you. Right? Just like in the movie Kesari, if you've seen it yet. I mean, the end scenes are really good in that movie. Got to watch it when it does come out. Should be on Netflix pretty soon. Okay, that's the movie Kesari. Right? So remembering God, one does not suffer sorrow. He doesn't. He's never feeling down because he's always positive or negative on Sunday. When you come to the satsang in the company of the holy, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਨਾਮ ਜਪਦੇ ਆ, ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਿਮਰਨ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ, ਹੁਣ ਅਸੀਂ ਬਚਨ ਕਲਾਸ ਵੀ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਆ, ਅਸੀਂ ਸਿੱਖੀ ਦੇ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ, ਅਸੀਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਲ ਜੁੜੇ ਹੋਏ ਹਾਂ, ਗੁਰੂ ਦੀ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਜੁੜੇ, ਗੁਰੂ ਦੀ ਬਾਣੀ ਨਾਲ ਜੁੜੇ ਹੋਏ ਹਾਂ. Right? Even though we're translating in English, Gurbani can be in any language. Right? People even study Gurbani in Spanish, in French, in other languages too. Right? So it's important to do that. Right? All treasures of Nanak are in the love of the Lord. Jidot to pyar pay jin prem kiyo tanhi prapaya. Asi Guru na prem pauna hai, pyar pauna hai. When you start getting to that, and you will start becoming a nicer person. Thode kaam thode lomon ka thoda gussa lathiyana, you start becoming a nice person. People will recognize the changes in you. Your family will say, wow, you're a lot different than you were a few years ago. Right? And obviously we mature too, but you want to mature for the right reasons, not the wrong reasons. You want your parents to be proud of you, but at the same time to see that mera beta vadda ho gaya, meri beti vaddi ho gayi, look how nice she's become. Right? That's what she's become from coming to the Friday classes, going to the Guru's Saturday. We're going to do that. Right? I've got a good friend today who's here, and actually I see a few older people that have been here. I haven't seen them for a while. One of them is in the army, and the other one by Dixie. If you remember the Charasilak June and Life After Death PowerPoint presentation I've shown a few times in this class, he's the one actually who put that together. And he's here in class too, so I'm glad to see him. I saw him after a long time, and I told him it's been a while you haven't come to the class and do some seva for the class too, right? And that reminds me, next week what we're going to do is I'm going to split the groups up a bit. Okay, so I'm going to put maybe the teenagers and the students on one side and the parents on one side. And I'll put that on our WhatsApp app as well, right? So that everybody will be prepared for next week's class. So this way I can speak to the parents, and I'll have this kind of thing by Dixie come speak to the youth, right? So that, you can share your problems, you can tell us what it is that you want to know, and it's all between us. Hey, we're here to help everybody and anybody. Right? So I'm figuring by next week, and I'll put up on our WhatsApp that this is a special program we're doing for next week, and maybe we can bring out more Sangat as well. And it's your duty to help other families come too. थोड़ा भी यही लाहा हैगा कि तुझे एक बंदे ने भी इतने गुरुद्वारे लेना खबरा थोड़ी किन्नी 84 लाख जून कटी है. We're trying to bring families, trying to bring friends, bring them over, help them. Because इकल्ले ने लाहा नहीं लेना से होना नहीं help करनी. ये तो और कुछ नहीं ना कार होना कार तो कार फोन चाके uncle किसी ने उन्होंने जरूर लेके आना चाहिए. Okay, so we can discuss with them as well. All right. In the remembrance of God are wealth, miraculous spiritual powers, and the 9 treasures. No, riddhiyan siddhiyan, सारे थोड़े पीछे लग गए हैं. Miraculous powers, spiritual powers that you get inside you. Right? And I know that from hanging out by Jeevan Singh, by Priti Pal Singh, some really good Sikhs, just from the way they do bhakti, the way they naam jap. By Jeevan Singh, he's not there. So I said, wow, when I see he's really sitting doing his bhakti, he's Oishnan karke aavi gaye. So he must have slept not even an hour. Right? And he was like way over 90 years old. Right? So, that's Bhakti Nishani. Even when my father passed away at 93, he woke at 1 o'clock that morning. He used to get at 1 o'clock every morning. Right? And he was 93. So if we're not well prepared to do our Simran, when we're not prepared, we're not doing it now, my God. How your lungs going to be having that power and the capacity and the know-how to do Simran at 90, 91, 93, providing we make it that far. And that's why it's so important that Simran, so we're ready for that ultimate last moment. Yeah? In the remembrance of God are knowledge, meditation, and the essence of wisdom. So you start getting wisdom. In the meditation, you start getting knowledge. Like it's right? What's the point of having a son? He's smoking, he's drinking. What kind of son is that? Or a daughter that's doing that? ਜਿਹੜਾ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਵੇਲੇ ਉੱਠੇ, ਬਾਣੀ ਪੜ੍ਹੇ, ਨਾਮ ਜਪੇ, ਸਿਮਰਨ ਕਰੇ, ਮਾਂ ਪਿਓ ਦੀ ਸੇਵਾ ਕਰੇ, ਸਤਿਕਾਰ ਵੀ ਕਰੇ, ਇੱਦਾਂ ਦਾ ਪੁੱਤ ਤੇ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਦੀ ਧੀ ਤੇ ਕੰਮ ਵੀ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਹੈ। ਤੇ ਜੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਵੀ ਕੋਈ ਗੁਰਮੁਖ ਭੇਜੇ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪ ਵੀ ਗੁਰਮੁਖ ਹੋ, ਨਹੀਂ ਤਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਨੌਲੇਜ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਾਉਂਗੇ ਜੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਆਪ ਨਹੀਂ ਨੌਲੇਜ ਆਉਂਦੀ। ਰੱਬ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਘਰੇ ਕਿਉਂ ਭੇਜੇ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪ ਨਹੀਂ ਬੰਦੇ ਬਣਦੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਵਾਲੇ? Why would he send that good sick to your house? ਜੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਘਰੇ ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖ ਭੇਜੇ ਨੇ, is because you will be able to put that knowledge and make them gursik too. And that's why it's important to do that, right? In the remembrance of God, our chanting, intense meditation, is devotional worship. Hello, you have to be very intense when you're doing something. Bhai, Guru, Bhai, Guru, Bhai, Guru, Bhai, Guru. You've got to really get it out of you. ਇੱਥੇ ਵੀ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ honor ਮਿਲੂਗਾ, ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਗਾਂ ਵੀ ਮਿਲੂਗਾ, ਰੱਬ ਦੇ ਘਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉੱਥੇ ਵੀ honor ਮਿਲੂਗਾ, right? In the remembrance of God, one becomes good, becomes a good person, becomes a good human being. People realize it. You should never say, I'm a good guy, I'm a great guy. Let people say it. If you're a good soccer player, a good basketball player, let people say it. You don't go around preaching yourself. I'm good at this, I'm good at that. What's the point of that? Man, right? We don't want to become a last life, right? In the remembrance of God, one flowers in fruitation. He's always fruitation. They alone remember him in meditation. Whom inspires to meditate? ਜਿਹੜੇ ਤੇ ਸੱਚੇ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਕਰਦਨ, ਉਹੀ ਰੱਬ ਨੂੰ ਚੇਤੇ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਆ। ਜੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਅੱਜ ਮਨ ਚਾਹੀਏ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਫਰਾਈਡੇ ਕਲਾਸ ਤੋਂ ਆਉਣਾ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਏ ਆ। ਜੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਮਨ ਚ ਨਾ ਆਉਂਦੇ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਉਣਾ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ। ਜੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਮਨ ਚ ਆਏ ਮੈਂ ਸਵੇਰੇ ਉੱਠ ਕੇ ਭਗਤੀ ਕਰਨੀ ਆ, ਤਾਂ ਸੱਚੇ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਨੇ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਕੀਤੀ, ਤਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਮਨ ਚ ਗੱਲ ਆਈ। ਨਹੀਂ ਤਾਂ ਬੰਦਾ ਉੱਠਦਾ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ।
Oh, I'm feeling a bit stressed because at work, because of this thing happened, that thing happened, my husband said this to me, my wife said this, I've got too much pressure with the kids, my family, I can't get along with my in-laws, all these sorts of things. We start talking about all the external things, and the Guru says, no. You haven't gone to the root of the problem. The Guru always goes to the root of the problem. Interestingly, that's why Gurbani starts with the root, the mool mantra. The whole of Guru Granth Sahib starts with the mool mantra, because the mool mantra straight away starts to deal with the root of the problem. And the root of the problem is the very way in which you and me understand ourselves and we understand the world around us. The root of the problem. We don't understand what is this? What is this body and mind? We give it a very crude word. We say, me. This is me. Problem is the starting point. And Guru refers to this concept called ha-man. He calls it this me. Ha-man. Me, I. That's what the word ha-man means. He says this ha-man, this me, this myself. I think the best word to translate ha-man in English is myself. Look at the difference. In most of your English translations, it says the word homme is ego. Ego means, I am better than you. I'm superior to you in whatever way. I'm taller than you, I'm shorter than you, I'm cleverer than you, I'm a better Sikh than you. That's what the word ego means. And so when you read it, it says, oh, Guruji wants me to get rid of my ego. Oh, Guruji wants me to be humble. Guruji doesn't want me to say, I am better than you. Guruji wants me to say, I am lower than you. But that's not what the word Homme means. That's perhaps what the word I exist. This body-mind thing that I'm walking around in is called me. Guruji says, Homme tirak roga hai, daru bhi iska. The solution is also to try and understand this.
The idea is to get the ego and the home out of you, and then it's got a way of how we can do that, and I'm going to come to that in a moment as well.
I'm often asked to describe what Naam means. The word Naam literally means name, and The idea with Naam is that you take a significant word known as a state of mind, that state of mind where you realize that everything in the entire universe is all connected to this very moment in time. And just like time is constantly moving, in the same way, the universe is always unfolding, always creating something new, always creating itself into something magical. So this very moment in time and space, there's never been another moment like right now. And this is what we call being in the awakened state of Naam, where you're zooming out of your life, you're thinking about the bigger picture. And when you think like this, you start to understand that behind everything that you can see, that you can smell, that you can touch, that you can hear, there is a connectedness, and that's what we call the oneness. The oneness is a single us feeling unfulfilled, unsatisfied, even anxious. Even though this body isn't really ours and these thoughts are not in our control, we've created a belief that this body and mind belong to something that we call me or myself. We don't even know that this is the cause of all of our problems, and what's worse is we don't even realize that it's possible to get out of this way of thinking. Through Naam, you start to become detached from the idea that your problems are really yours in life. And your mind enters into a state of contentment, even in the face of difficulties or troubles. And you start to learn the power of acceptance at every moment and of every circumstance in your life. So Naam is a process of changing your mind's focus away from the I to the ever-present totality of the universe, the ultimate, the one.
To be one with Him, right? One with Waheguru. And you'll see Him everywhere. Just the understanding everywhere. Even when you're walking, I'm so fortunate behind my house, I got a lovely ravine there, and when I'm walking there through the ponds or through the lakes and over the bridges, it's just beautiful that you could say, and I see so many different species there. I see deers, I see skunks, I see raccoons, everything in that ravine. But I'm saying, and that's the kind of level you want to get your mind set to. Right? And Bhai said that so nicely as well, and how nicely he explains it. That's what I love about him. He's really, really good at what he does, and I really enjoy listening to him as well. I'll go one more on him, and then after I got a couple of really nice videos on the show. ਅਸੀਂ ਨਾ ਬੜੀ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਕੌਮ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ, ਬੜੀ ਬਹਾਦਰ, but we get scared over little things. Right? And I wanted to show you guys how bahadur qawm we are when I get down. ये सच्चे पातशाह दे पैरां ते छाले पै गए सीगे जब 4 पुत्र शहीद हो गए 2 तां शहीद हो गए ना जो बाबा जी सिंह बाबा जुझार सिंह जंग ना लड़े 10,000 का घेरा they say Baba Jujar Singh took a spear with his horse and went through the enemy like a crocodile going through water. Right? He was just slaughtering them as he's going through. But in a Jagarasi Nali Pasha Guru Gobind Singh, Wahu Gobind Singh, Ape Gur Chedla, Guru Viya Chedla Viya, Sache Pasha himself has no generation of family. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Pitaji was beheaded. Mata Gujari passed away as a Sahibzade did, as you see in there. Okay? The Sahibzade were gone, Shote and Navatte, his Mataji. So he's got no generation of family that followed after Guru Gobind Singh left this world. His whole family left with him. But he formed the Khalsa, we're part of the Khalsa. Sache Pasha Jadona, Jare Sige, Chamkaur Sahib Shadike. One of the Panch Pyare was with him. I think it's Bhai Daya Singh that was with him. And Bhai Daya Singh saw the Shote Sahibzade Shaheed Hoye Pene and thought I'll put a kambal on him. Like a kambal part on it. Sache Pasha Bhai Daya Singh ji ki kare ne? Kena Maharaj Sahibzade ne? Kena sari mere Sahibzade ne? Right? Even now you've got Khalsa Aid helping people out when there's bad weather or if like in Myanmar is having a lot of turmoil going on there, and they're helping with food and everything. There's a big flooding in London, in England, in parts of England, and they were there helping out people, making langar and everything. That's the kind of Khalsa Panth he created. You have the Darbar side, about 100,000 people are fed literally every day. Right? That's the kind of what Guru Sahib created. And I'll talk about a little bit about that next week as well. I'll show you a nice video on the Darbar side, how to make langar and everything as well. We tend to forget what Guru Sahib created for us, and we go about doing our life not realizing that there's so much more to it. Okay? Last video, and then we'll call it a day there. And then next week we'll do a special program for everybody. Okay? Like I said, just to remind everyone, next week we're going to split the classes in 2. So we'll have somebody speaking with the youth and somebody speaking with the parents. I'll probably speak with the parents, just come all saying and release, and I'll get them to speak with the youth. Right? So you guys can share your problems that you're having or something that you're doing. सब तेरे पुत्र ने जो साजी फौज काली दुनिया दी मामा को तेरी जगते शान निराली दुनिया दी मामा को तेरी जगते शान निराली जग चढ़दा लाड़ा जो सिर ते फबदे खूब धमाले that's it, that's Sikhism. I've got a qada on, I've got a big qada, that means I'm a big Sikh. No, that's not what it is. It's a dil di gall hai, dil prem ki ho, nahi par paya. We'll call it a day for now, for this week, but next week again will be, like I said, we'll do a special program next week, and we'll try to do something different in this coming 27th year of this Friday class, and let's keep up, and again, try to bring other sangat as well. Sadi duty hai, so ho ranu satna, inni da seva kar sakde hain. Dekho jada party rakhni hundi hai, kisi de ade honda koi bhi, fir aapa dekho kadam bhajde hain. We got this to do, we got that to do, right? I'll talk about a wedding. I was going through YouTube today, and I came across this one video. This is, I think I just want to see if I can find it. Just give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. If I can find it quickly, I'll show it to you guys. It's actually it's a video of my 2 daughters that got married. She's my oldest daughter, and that's currently she's my second daughter, my third daughter. They both got married on the same day to 2 brothers.